On her 24th birthday, Mia Evans stood at the nurse's station in Lakeside Memorial Hospital, rubbing the back of her neck after a long round of charting. She had planned a small dinner after work, nothing fancy, just a chance to feel celebrated for once. Her phone buzzed with a message. When she opened it, her heart dropped. "We sold your car. Family comes first. Be grateful we'll let you live here rent-free." Mia blinked, confused at first. Then shock hit. Her car, the one she bought after 2 years of saving, was gone. Another text followed from her father. "Your brother's tuition is due. $6,350. Handle it." Mia whispered, "No, no way." A co-worker passing by asked, "You okay?" Mia forced a smile. Birthday drama. But inside, she felt something crack. She slipped into the supply closet and dialed her mother. "Mom, what is Dad talking about?" Her mother sounded cheerful, laughter in the background. "Your father handled it. We needed the money. You can take the bus." Mia pressed a hand to her forehead. "Mom, that car is in my name." "Stop being dramatic," her mother replied. "Family helps family." It was the sentence Mia had heard her whole life. Today, it hit differently. Growing up, the Evans household ran on strict hierarchy. Frank, the father, sat at the top, loud, demanding, and always certain he was right. Linda, her mother, followed his lead completely. And Jake, her younger brother, was treated like a prince. But Mia? She was the responsible one. The one expected to work, contribute, and stay grateful. Since she was 16, Mia had worked weekend shifts at a grocery store. At 18, she started paying $450 a month in rent, even though she still lived at home and nothing ever improved in the house. Meanwhile, Jake got whatever he asked for: new shoes, new games, and eventually a used coupe with a ribbon on top for his 16th birthday. Mia remembered watching Jake jump around the driveway while her father clapped proudly. When she said, "Wow, must be nice," her mother shot her a warning look. "Don't be jealous of your brother." That was the pattern. Mia worked, they took, and Jake enjoyed. She thought adulthood would give her space from all of that. Instead, it felt like she was still paying for simply being born first. When Mia bought her used Corolla at 22, it felt like the first thing in her life that belonged entirely to her. She saved every spare dollar, researched models, negotiated the price, and handled the paperwork herself. The day she parked it in the driveway, her father frowned. "You should have let me handle it. You overpaid." Mia had smiled anyway. "It's mine, Dad. I'm proud of it." She never forgot how holding those keys made her feel: independent, capable, finally moving forward. And now, 2 years later, they had sold it behind her back. In the supply closet, she whispered into the phone, "Mom, this is illegal. You can't sell something that isn't yours." Linda only sighed. "Your father added his name when he took it for inspection. You signed the papers." Mia remembered that morning, her father shoving forms at her while saying, "Just sign. It's routine." Realization hit hard. "He tricked me," she whispered. "Mia," her mother said firmly, "your brother's future matters more than a car." Mia stared at the shelves of bandages and gloves. "And my future?" she asked softly. But Linda had already hung up. For the rest of her shift, Mia moved like a machine. She took vitals, comforted nervous parents, and handed out medication with practiced calm. But her mind kept replaying everything. Her father's messages, her mother's dismissiveness, the fact that Jake had already texted, "Thanks for paying my tuition. Dad told me you'd handle it." At 6, her friend Amy approached her. "Happy birthday, Mia," she said gently, placing a small candle on a cupcake. "Make a wish. And don't say a nap. That doesn't count." Mia laughed, but tears stung her eyes. After the long day, Amy added, "Dinner after your shift, remember? We booked your favorite place." Mia nodded automatically. But when her shift ended and she walked to the empty parking lot, the missing space where her car used to sit felt like a punch. She texted her group, "Can't make dinner. Sorry." Then she waited at the bus stop for the 45-minute ride home, clutching her bag while anger rose slowly, like water reaching boiling point. "They really think I won't push back," she whispered. For the first time in years, she felt something she hadn't allowed herself to feel: resolve. When Mia walked through the front door, the smell of pot roast filled the house. Her mother stepped out of the kitchen with 2 bright eyes. "There you are. Dinner is almost ready. Let's not argue tonight. Her father sat in his recliner watching TV. Birthday girl, he said without looking at her. Perfect timing. Mia put her bag down. Where's my car? Frank finally turned his head. Sold it this morning. Got cash on the spot. Mia's voice was steady. You had no right. Frank scoffed. You live here rent-free. That car was practically ours. I pay rent, Mia said. And groceries. And bills. Linda stepped between them. Sweetheart, your brother needs to start school. We're all sacrificing. Really? Mia asked. What exactly is Jake sacrificing? Jake came bouncing down the stairs, grinning. Hey, thanks for the tuition loan, Mia. I already ordered my laptop. It wasn't a loan, Mia said. Because I'm not paying. The room fell silent. Her father's eyes narrowed. You don't get to decide that. Mia held her ground. Yes, I do. Dinner crawled by, every clink of silverware louder than the last. When dessert arrived, Frank cleared his throat. Let's settle this. You'll write the check by Friday. Mia pushed her plate away. No, Frank leaned forward. What do you mean, no? I'm not paying, she repeated. And what you did with the car was fraud. Linda gasped. Mia. Don't use ugly words. It's the truth, Mia said. You forged my signature. Her father slammed his hand on the table. Enough. Either you pay your brother's tuition or you get out of this house. Mia looked him dead in the eye. If that's the choice, then I'll go. Jake looked shocked. You're kidding. Mia, come on. Dad said this was all settled. It was settled for you, she replied. Standing slowly, she added, I'm done being the family wallet. Her father pointed at the door. Walk out, and you're no daughter of mine. For the first time in her life, Mia didn't flinch. Then I guess this is goodbye. Upstairs, Mia packed with shaking hands, but not with fear. With clarity. She pulled out folders, receipts, documents she'd quietly kept over the years. Rent payments. Grocery receipts. Car documents. Maintenance bills she alone had paid. She whispered to herself, this wasn't one moment, this was a pattern. When she found the old car title with only her name, she swallowed hard. Behind it was the new registration, her signature clearly forged. She photographed everything. Then she packed essentials, clothes, documents, her nursing supplies, a few keepsakes, and her grandmother's earrings, the one heirloom her mother hadn't taken. By midnight, she had 2 suitcases filled with her life. She paused at her bedroom doorway. This house never felt like home, she murmured. But I'm finally giving myself one. Down the hall, Jake's video game blasted loudly, unaware that everything was changing. At 3 a.m., Mia crept downstairs. She placed a labeled folder on the kitchen table, Family Financial Record. Inside were copies of everything, proof of rent, proof of expenses, proof of the forged signature. She didn't leave it out of revenge. She left it so there would be no more lies about what she owed. After slipping outside, she stood in the driveway where her car once Saturday. The empty concrete made her chest ache, but she let the feeling come and go. She ordered a ride. The driver, a middle-aged woman named Patty, loaded her suitcases without asking a single question. After a moment, Patty said gently, rough night. Mia exhaled shakily. Rough life. But tonight, I think I chose myself for the first time. Patty nodded. That's always the start of something good. Mia believed her. Her friend Amy opened the apartment door in pajamas and messy hair. You're staying here, she announced, ushering her inside. Guest room. No arguments. Mia let out a breath she didn't know she'd been holding. In the small room, she dropped her bags and sank onto the bed. For the first time in years, she slept deeply, without fear of footsteps in the hallway or someone knocking on her door demanding something. The next morning, Amy handed her a cup of coffee. Your phone hasn't stopped buzzing, she warned. Mia checked it. Dozens of missed calls, angry voicemails, emotional texts. One from her aunt. What did you leave at the house? Your father's shouting outside. Call me. Mia scrolled through messages, reading her mother's shifting tone from anger to guilt to bargaining. Her father ranted about respect, duty, and family. Jake texted simply. Is it true about the car? Mom's crying. Dad keeps changing the story. Amy watched her carefully. What are you going to do? Mia took a long sip of coffee. I'm going to meet with a lawyer. At 11 a.m., Mia sat in the office of Ms. Carter, a calm, sharp-eyed attorney who specialized in financial abuse. After reading through the folder, Ms. Carter nodded slowly. Your father's alteration of the title is clear fraud, she said. And the pattern of financial exploitation is strong.
Mia swallowed. So?
I'm not crazy. Not even close, Ms. Carter replied. You've been financially controlled for years. They drafted a formal demand for the value of the car and compensation for documented losses.
This won't be a long fight, the lawyer added.
People like your parents settle fast when the truth threatens their reputation. After leaving the office, Mia and Amy toured apartments. When Mia stepped into a small one-bedroom with cream walls and a quiet balcony, she felt something loosen inside her, like a knot finally untying.
I'll take it, she said. Amy grinned.
Happy birthday, by the way. New year, new life.
Mia laughed softly. Honestly?
Best birthday gift I've ever given myself.
That evening, Mia finally turned her phone back on.
It exploded with notifications, over 100 missed calls, dozens of voicemails, and long, emotional texts.
Her father wrote, "You've lost your mind. No one will believe you over your own parents."
A minute later, "What will it take to make this go away?" Her mother wrote, "Come home, we'll talk like adults."
Your father's job could be at risk. Don't do this to us.
Then, "I can't believe you'd hurt your own brother." Jake's messages were different.
Mia, what is going on?
Dad said you're trying to ruin us. But he's also changing his story about the car.
Did he really sell it without asking you?
Mia stared at the screen.
For the first time, someone in her family seemed unsure.
Amy leaned over her shoulder. You don't have to answer them right now, she said.
Mia nodded. I know. I
need them to stop saying I'm crazy. She opened a group chat with her extended family and typed, I've experienced financial abuse for years. My parents sold my car without permission and demanded I pay Jake's tuition. All evidence is with a lawyer. I am safe. Please respect my privacy.
Then she turned her phone off again. 2 days later, Mia met with Ms. Carter again.
Their lawyer reached out, Ms. Carter said, adjusting her glasses. He sounds nervous.
Mia folded her hands in her lap.
What did he say?
He tried to claim your father misunderstood the paperwork, Ms. Carter replied.
But after I mentioned the forged signature and the rental records, he changed his tone.
Mia let out a slow breath.
So what happens now? Now we send a formal demand, Ms. Carter said. Repayment for the car and compensation for the money you can prove they took.
If they refuse, we file a case. But I doubt they'll want that.
Later, at Mia's new apartment, Amy helped her unpack. This place is cute, Amy said, putting bowls in the kitchen cabinet. Simple, but it feels like you.
Mia smiled faintly.
It feels quiet.
She stepped onto the small balcony. No one shouting.
No one asking where my money went. Amy joined her.
You know you're allowed to be happy, right? Mia nodded slowly. I'm still learning that.
By the end of the week, the settlement offer arrived. Ms. Carter called her in. They are willing to pay, she said, sliding a paper toward Mia. Not every dollar you listed, but a large amount.
Mia scanned the numbers.
It was enough for savings, debt, and a fresh start.
Do I have to talk to them? She asked quietly. No, Ms. Carter answered. All communication goes through me.
You decide if this is enough to let you move forward. Mia stared at the paper. Will there be any apology?
Ms. Carter shook her head. They refused to admit wrongdoing. Just payment.
Amy, sitting beside Mia, whispered, an apology from them would never be honest anyway.
Mia let out a soft, shaky laugh.
True. After a long pause, Mia said, I'll accept.
I don't want to spend years fighting them in court. I want my life back. Ms. Carter nodded. I'll finalize it.
And Mia? Yes. You did something very brave. Most people never get this far. On the way home, Mia and Amy stopped at a small cafe. Mia ordered something she would once have called too expensive and didn't feel guilty at all. The settlement money arrived as a certified check a few weeks later. Mia stood in the bank line, fingers tight around the envelope. When it was finally deposited, the screen showed numbers that didn't feel real. She walked outside and breathed in deeply, like the air itself was different. That afternoon, she bought a reliable used Honda, nothing flashy, just solid and hers. The salesman handed her the keys.
"Congratulations," he said.
"First car."
Mia smiled.
"Second," she answered. "But the first one I get to keep." She drove to her new apartment with the windows slightly down, music low, heart strangely light. That evening, her coworkers surprised her again with a late birthday celebration. They brought takeout, a plant for her balcony, and a simple frame for her nursing license. "To Mia," Amy said, raising a plastic cup, "who finally treats herself as well as she treats everyone else." Mia laughed, blinking back tears.
"To choosing myself," she replied.
For once, she didn't feel selfish saying it. She felt right.
Jake reached out more as the weeks passed.
His messages changed from annoyed to confused to thoughtful. One evening, he called her. Mia hesitated, then picked up. "Hey," she said carefully. "Hey," he replied, sounding smaller than she'd ever heard him.
I wanted to ask you something. Did Dad really sell your car without telling you?
And did he really forge your name?"
Mia sat on her couch.
"Yes, Jake. I didn't know until after it was done." There was a long pause. "He told me you were happy to help," Jake said quietly. "Like you always were."
"I wasn't happy," Mia replied. "I was scared.
And I thought that was normal."
Jake sighed. "Mom mentioned Grandma's jewelry too. I didn't know any of that. I'm
sorry I ever joked about you being the tuition fairy." Mia's chest softened a little. "You believed what they told you," she said. "You were a kid."
"Still," he murmured.
"I get why you left now." "I didn't leave because of you," she said. "I left because I finally realized I deserved a life that wasn't built on being used." Jake whispered, "I think I'm starting to see that."
Months went by.
Mia settled into a routine that actually supported her instead of draining her. She decorated her apartment slowly. Second-hand furniture, soft blankets, plants on the balcony that she watered before every shift. She signed up for an extra nursing course she had always put off because her money needed to go to the house. On weekends, she hiked with friends, watched movies, or simply slept without being woken by demands. News of her parents reached her in pieces. Her aunt texted one night, "Your father tried to find a lawyer to sue you. None of them would take the case after seeing your documents." Another time, "They are telling people you turned against the family. I just tell them you finally stood up for yourself." Mia read each update carefully, then set her phone down. She still felt sadness sometimes, but it no longer controlled her. One afternoon, her aunt called. "Are you okay, sweetheart?" "Yeah," Mia said, looking around her little home. "I'm actually okay."
Her aunt paused.
"Your grandmother would have been proud of you, you know."
Mia swallowed.
"I hope so," she whispered. About 6 months after she left, Mia met Jake and her aunt for dinner at a quiet restaurant. Jake seemed different, less loud, more thoughtful. He pushed his food around for a moment, then finally spoke. "I didn't see it," he admitted. "How they treated you, how much they expected from you. It just felt normal that you paid and I didn't."
Mia nodded.
"That's how it works," she said softly. "In families like ours, everyone gets a role.
You were the golden child.
I was the responsible one." "The scapegoat," he said quietly. "Dad called you selfish for leaving, but now I keep thinking he was the one taking everything."
Mia gave a small, sad smile. "I don't want you to hate him," she said.
"But I need you to understand why I left."
"I don't hate him," Jake replied.
"But I don't believe everything he says anymore." Their aunt reached across the table and squeezed Mia's hand. "Some patterns are breaking," she said. "Slowly, but they are." For the first time, Mia felt like she wasn't alone in seeing the truth. A year passed faster than Mia expected. On the anniversary of the night she left, she woke up in her quiet bedroom and stared at the soft light on the walls. Her phone buzzed with normal things now, group chats about movies, a message from a coworker, a reminder for a dentist appointment. No angry demands. No guilt-filled lectures.
She walked to her bathroom mirror.
On the glass, a yellow sticky note read, "Family is who respects your boundaries and doesn't send you a bill for love." Ms. Carter had said something similar at their last meeting, and Mia had written her own version down. She ran a hand through her hair and smiled at her reflection. Later that day, she met friends for brunch. "How does it feel?" Amy asked, clinking her glass. 1 year since everything blew up.
Mia thought about it. It feels clean, she said.
Like my life finally belongs to me. Would you ever go back?
Another friend asked gently.
Mia shook her head.
Not to the way things were.
Maybe one day I'll speak to them again.
But only if they respect my no.
That evening, Mia sat on her balcony with her laptop, finishing a video script she'd been working on. She wanted to tell her story in a way that could help others. She typed, "If you're watching this, and your family makes you feel like you owe them everything, listen carefully. Love is not supposed to be a trap." She spoke the words out loud, practicing. Love doesn't steal your money, your keys, or your peace, then call it help. Love doesn't say, "You're nothing without us," every time you try to stand on your own.
Amy stepped outside with 2 mugs of tea. You recording tonight? She asked.
Yeah, Mia said. I think I'm ready. What's the message?
Amy asked, sitting beside her.
Mia smiled softly. That you're allowed to say no, even to the people who raised you. That you're allowed to choose safety and respect over a last name.
Amy nodded.
People need to hear that.
Mia looked into the camera on her phone and hit record.
When she finished the video, Mia uploaded it and sat quietly, listening to the city sounds below her balcony.
She didn't know how many people would watch or if it would just reach a handful of strangers. But that wasn't the point anymore.
The point was that she had finally told the truth, out loud, clearly, without fear.
Her phone pinged with the first comment. I thought it was just me. Thank you.
Mia felt tears prick her eyes, but they were different from the tears she used to cry in her childhood bedroom.
These were lighter, full of release.
She leaned back in her chair and whispered, "Happy birthday, Mia," even though her birthday had passed months ago.
It still felt right.
Her life had started again the night she chose to walk out the door. She didn't know every step ahead, but she knew this: she would never go back to being the family wallet, the quiet child who always said yes. She had her own keys now, her own home, her own voice. And this time, no one was going to sell that away.